And good morning. And just like that, it became Friday. Or it seems. It's 73 right now. So we wait for a high a little bit later to be 88. Cloudy most of the day. Don't expect a lot of sunshine today. We do have some storms that are going to be in the northwest part of Mississippi, the Delta region. Some severe weather. We're good today across East Mississippi and West Alabama. We will start to see some severe weather tomorrow. At this point, the line is at Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to show you all this on radar, and west for level 3, and anything east of Jackson back from Meridian into Alabama will be a level 2 for tomorrow. Tornadoes are possible as we'll get into the breakdown and the times of all that it will happen. It's Fun Friday. The whole gang is coming in at the top of the hour. I hope you'll join us. We'll have a lot to talk about. Busy day yesterday. Long night as we were out and about chasing this, that, and the other, going throughout the communities. We got some stories. We'll tell you all about that. LaWanda, good morning. Miss Ann Hall is up. Miss Ann Johnson. Brian, how are y'all? Even Robin is up and at 'em today. Let's see what we got in North Mississippi here. That is aerial flood watch as we pull up Doc's Toyota radar. Flood watch all this area here. As you'll see, this is the area right up in here that could be affected this afternoon by severe weather. The Meridian area, all good, but we'll get into the forecast in a moment to let you see all that. We want to welcome in WMOX Radio joining us this morning to the broadcast. Let's now go to Collinsville. That good word of the day. We'll be right back with Brother Ben.
How do you handle the difficulties in life? Well, Nat King Cole, singing lyrics written by Charlie Chaplin, said to just smile. Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through the fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Well, that's one philosophy, sort of a grin and bear it mentality, if you will. But God calls us to something better than that. He doesn't say fake it till you make it. No, he commands us in 1 Thessalonians 5:16, rejoice always. To rejoice is to express deep, heartfelt joy. And God commands us to do this always. Rejoice always. That means when it's good and when it's bad. Now, it's easy to do in the good times. Rejoicing then, it's just natural. But how can we rejoice in the bad times? How can we have genuine, deep, heartfelt joy in the bad times? Well, we can rejoice even then because while our circumstances may not be good, God is always good. You see, rejoicing is the active response of the heart and soul to what God is, who God is, and what He's done. And when we focus on Him, we can rejoice always, even in the bad times. In sunlight bright or shadowed gloom, when flowers bloom or fill the tomb, my soul shall lift a song of praise because of God. Rejoice always. For joy is not built on sifting sand, but on the rock made not by hand. Though tears may fall and hearts may break, His promises He'll ne'er forsake. So come what may, both gain and loss, I'll fix my eyes upon the cross. For there I see through joy and strife the Savior who is joy and life. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. Church services this Sunday. I believe doors open at 10:15 if you need a place. Several places. Hope you can find one. As I said, 73, 74, depending upon where your boots are standing this morning as you get ready to head out the door. It's going to be extremely windy. Another one of those days we don't want to burn. Now, as we start looking at headlines that have happened this week across America, there's one thing for sure. None of us know what's going to come out of this. It's a mess as it was, and in an attempt to fix things, it seems that sometimes, well, it's worse. In the eye of the storm, sometimes it's bad. But sometimes you have to weather the storm to fix things. And what I'm hinting at here is all these tariff taxes. I don't know the outcome. I don't. Are things going to go up? It's a possibility. Ford, we'll say this, steps up to the plate, and they're offering Americans the discount that is offered to employees to lower cost of when it comes to tariffs. Now, tariffs are bad. It does raise things, but it's not fair what's going on. Other countries charge us, and the United States lets them in for a little bit of nothing. We no longer have factories. We no longer make our own medicine. We don't make our own cars in most cases. There's a few that have started back, and as we all would find out during COVID, And maybe you just didn't realize it, just how much had left America. I can remember back in the early 90s, I'd just gotten married, and somebody I thought that knew more than me told me that it was a good thing what Clinton was signing. Well, it wasn't. They didn't know what they were talking about. Years after that, we would start seeing, a couple of years, we'd start seeing factory and business after business closing, especially in our areas. All these knitting factories, places that made blue jeans, all disparate socks. That was a big industry in our area. From here to Quitman, Mississippi, to Waynesboro, we had these places. Union, Mississippi had it, and they've all disappeared. Left behind ghost towns. They couldn't compete with NAFTA, is what I'm talking about, as we started getting products from other countries. You can't get anything in America. Should something happen, your medicines would be cut off because we have no factories. All of this is an effort to bring all of this back home. Is it going to be some stumbling? It sure is. The big picture is we need it back in America, manufacturing. Again, the road is not going to be smooth. It could be rocky from time to time, but have a cool hand as we go through this. That's what I ask. We'll see what becomes of it. Again, I don't have the answer. The president taking a quick trip to Miami to rest up there. Air Force One handed out, arrived in Miami. This one, as I look across the pond, and we go across to Great Britain, they had a teacher, and you have to commend parents for showing up. They did outside the school. They held a little, I guess you would call it a protest. A teacher had planned to cancel Easter celebration and change it to Refugee Week at school. Parents didn't stand by and take that. They fought that. Who would want to do that? Do they not realize what Easter is really about? And for those who truly don't know what Easter is about, I pray for you. I will offer them peace, and hopefully they'll find out what you and I know. Because it's not going to be pretty if you don't. Do y'all remember, and I do, I remember this very well. It was a young lady. Her name was Shelley Luther. Now, that name probably doesn't mean a lot. You go, Shelley. Well, I know Shelley. Well, this happened to be a hairdresser. Back in 2020, when they were telling churches that you can't have church because we said so. They were arresting pastors all across the U.S. Y'all remember that? And all that was basically a scheme to show that, the federal government can do what they want, those that were in charge of it at the time. It was a young lady named Shelley Luther that defied it. She kept her business open. She cut hair. She was arrested. Do y'all remember that? She just won a seat in the Texas Senate. Congratulations to her. And let me show you her picture. Maybe you remember her. That's her from way back when. She's that hairdresser. Texas House is what I meant to say. But congratulations to her. Sometimes you got to stand up for what's right. She did.
Foster care and killing.
It looks like she is the winner at this point. New Hampshire is where we go this morning as we look at headlines from New Hampshire. You don't hear a lot from there, but police there are calling for help. Oh, this is one of those sad things. They found a newborn baby in a pond. They're asking for the public's help in New Hampshire to find out who it is and how it got there. That breaks your heart. The ball player, if you'll remember, his son who passed away while they were on vacation. He was a 14-year-old son of former New York Yankees outfielder Brett Gardner. They couldn't determine how the little boy died. He was 14. And I say little, he was a young man at that age. Ended up being carbon monoxide that killed him in his sleep. That's what they have finally determined on that. How sad that is. Eric Adams, you know what I'm talking about? He's the mayor of New York City. He's dropping out of the Democrat Party and will run for re-election as an independent. Said their values have left where he was. Is it a step in the right direction? Hope so. I think the former governor, Cuomo, is that his name? Cuomo, or was he the mayor of New York at one time? He's going to run. Hopefully Eric Adams will beat him. Eric was not exactly what I thought. He did change toward the end there. He didn't bring in the police. He's an ex-police officer. I thought he'd be a little bit tougher. Trump has fired the National Security Agency's chief and deputy director. Gone. Didn't live up to expectations. Let's see what else. This is, and I see this every day in my line of work now. The police are called to somewhere to a disturbance. We'll go to Florida, and this is a popular place here as well, Dollar General. Disturbance. The police officer arrived on scene. He went in the store, found the guy, and the guy is walking, being escorted back out of the store. The bad guy's in front of the police officer. He is behind him. We'll call him bad guy, turns around and starts firing at the officer. For no reason. It was not provoked. It was just started firing. The police officer was able to pull his gun. He returned fire. At the end of this, I believe it was somewhere around 18 shots were fired. The suspect fell dead at the scene. The officer was later rushed to a hospital where he would die. We pass condolences to Florida, his death. And again, that's one of those common things that we see here every day. You would be shocked as to how many times a police officer goes to a disturbance call. And then for that to happen. And I say that to all you guys that are officers, never let your guard down. If you make a call like that, make absolutely sure that you're paying attention to what's going on in front of you. Let's see here. This is one of those, a track meet. This was in Texas. 17-year-old stabbed and killed another classmate. For what? Not good at all. They've made a discovery there. You've often heard of Rome and what a big empire it was. And we're getting ready to make a bulldozing off a spot, rather. They uncovered a battlefield grave. When was it that it says it's near Vienna? They were making a soccer field. 1st century Roman Empire. There ought to be some treasures down in there that will teach history something. Of course, they'll make that a site, I'm sure, to where you can't build on. Satellite images are showing United States B-2 nuclear-capable bombers deployed to the Indian Ocean. Taking precaution, aren't we? Let's hope that all that is precaution. We had a situation over the last couple of days in D.C. I don't know if y'all heard this. 6 people were stabbed. Shakes my head. Where was this at? Let me see here. I was trying to find the state, and I can't quickly determine which state it was. Columbus. We're going to call that Columbus, Ohio. That's where this took place. Nothing like your teacher asking for help from a student, is it? Greg's seen them do this before. Hey, could you come up to the chalkboard? Except this one was a little bit more serious. It was, hey, could you take out my boyfriend? Here's $2,000, and if you would do this, I would appreciate it. She's been arrested. Actually, it was her husband. $2,000. I'd say divorce papers are arriving, is what I'm guessing here. Do you remember the young lady we talked about? I guess I need to show this. Greg's a little cold. It is cold in this studio. I agree with you. But do y'all remember the young lady we brought up, the fencing? And, we were talking about it being swords yesterday. She refused to challenge or be in a duel with a transgender. They have disqualified her from participating in any more sports because she wouldn't.
Her or him?
Her.
Yeah.
The original, the female that we know is a female, they have disbarred her. They will not let her in anymore because she refused to do what she had to. She took a stand in what she believed, and I support her. We got to straighten out this kind of stuff. You have 2 classes, boys, girls. There ain't no in-betweens. As we look at this, these storms that have come through, 7 deaths across the United States have happened. 5 in Tennessee that we see, just bad. There was some rough weather there. And again, we'll tell you about our rough weather that's arriving tomorrow. Dr. Oz, he's been behind the scenes, but, well, he's the head of Medicare and Medicaid services now. They've approved him. lost track of where that was. But Dr. Oz is there, y'all. Wildfires that went through Los Angeles, you remember those? They've got the final tally. 30 lives were lost in that. Oh, that's a lot of people. Homes destroyed. It'll take years to rebuild all of that. Let's see who else is here. Oh, we brought the couple up yesterday. Remember the timeshare couple?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't pay the bill or however what they had signed, and they landed in Mexico. They got arrested promptly. Well, they'd been there about a week, and they decided, well, we need to work out a deal. Why don't we just pay what we owe? They've reached a settlement with the timeshare company. They've been released from jail now and are back in the United States. They'll have to pay up. That's how they got out of jail.
Imagine how that works.
And how it all happened was they agreed to pay it, even paid for it with their credit card, and then cancel the credit card payment. They didn't appreciate that. It was hundreds of thousands of dollars of what they owed. Yeah, Mexico done the right thing on that. I have no problem with that. They were going to outsmart the system, so to speak. It didn't work out there. Death and murder is murder, in my opinion. Whether you plead insanity or not, it's still a life was taken for no reason. A New Jersey mother who drowned her 2 toddlers for religious reasons has been found not guilty by reason of insanity. Doesn't sit well with me. I know that others will argue with me over that and say it does. It doesn't with me. She murdered 2 children, not guilty by insanity. Do y'all remember us talking about, this has been a couple of weeks back, police, Illinois. It was a young lady that was 23 that went missing in 1982, 83. Recently they found it was 83, 84, because they found her 1983 Toyota Celica in the river. They pulled it out. The police now are asking for your help. They've even gone a step further and started their own podcast there. All these true crime things, I guess the true crime is coming to you now with that. Uh-oh, we got somebody that's in trouble here. See, the CEO of a California-based financial service company is in deep, what's the word that I'm thinking of? Y'all know, you can fill in the blank there. He was on a cruise, which I think Odie is going to, and don't get carried away in your cruise because it comes back to haunt you later. He found out he's accused of choking a man and threatening him on the cruise ship. They got in an argument, and he just reached out and grabbed him and picked him up by the neck. It's not going to end well for him, probably. What argument is worth that? The thing about a cruise ship is you have to give your name to get on. It's not like you can wander off and they never know who it was. Puff Daddy, Sean. I know Odie's a big fan and loves all of his music, but his attorney is seeking to block the psychologist from testifying at his May trial. He doesn't want him there. Not sure what he knows that we don't know, but that's what's going on there. We'll check your forecast next. We'll get into that, let you know when the bad weather will begin. All that's next, Scotty Ray Report.
For something as vital as your eyes, you should have your lenses and contacts made with the utmost care and precision. And that's what Grayson Optical does on 24th Avenue. Since 1996, Grayson Optical's mission has been to provide Meridian and surrounding areas with quality eye care products. That's why we're locally owned and operated. And don't forget, custom-made sunglasses like Costa for your eyes only. When you need to see clearly, Grayson Optical, 2021 24th Avenue, Meridian, 601-693-6374.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Welcome back as we get into our forecast this morning. What's going to happen? We're going to look at radar in a moment and show you where all of the bad weather threatened areas will be. Let's look at today's forecast as we go back to look at our record highs, record lows. It was 1934 that we had a high of 89 today. Back in 87, which, well, I was graduating. Doesn't seem that long ago, but it is, isn't it? 28 degrees on that date. Our outlook for today across Mississippi shows us we should be at 88. We'll make 90 in Columbus, Mississippi. Usually it's cooler there, but warmer in Columbus. As we go down the river, it'll stay 90 all the way to Natchez, Hattiesburg popping up at 87. Over in Bamaland, Hank Country, as we look at this, 88 in Demopolis, will be 89 in Birmingham as well. Montgomery checks in at 90. Woo! Now, as we look at what's happening, our wind today, y'all look at this. It's a lot of this, and we want to remind you, do not burn in any shape, form, or way with this wind like this. It'll get away from you in a heartbeat, so don't do that. From noon until 7 p.m. is when it'll start picking up. You might have seen me around town chasing my cowboy hat the last few days. You have to, after lunch, it's been getting rough. I've lost it 4 times. A bungee strap. I ended up having to switch to a ball cap yesterday afternoon to be able to stand out in it. It was rough. This causes, as we've seen this week, power lines, power to go out. Here's what the National Weather Service is showing us for today on their map. Then we'll go to live radar. Severe storms there in the Greenville area. But boy, as we go west from there, it'll get worse. The timing of this is 5 to 9 p.m. If you're watching us from the Mississippi Delta, be on the lookout for that tonight. Now, here's the outlook at this point for tomorrow. And again, we'll look at live radar in a sec. We've got a level 3 from Jackson, Mississippi back west. Mississippi area level 2. That's still going to bring tornadoes, making it very possible tomorrow afternoon. Severe storms, damaging winds of 60 miles an hour, and hail up to golf ball size hail. It'll be Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. Now let's switch back here and go to radar so we can show you the real McCoy of what's happening today. Here is what today is. As we see that level 1 in Mississippi here in the Delta, and you get to Tunica, it switches to a level 2. But as we get back here, look at this. As we get into Arkansas, Little Rock, Hot Springs, all these areas down to Texarkana is going to be a level 4. Jonesboro, Arkansas, y'all be on your tippy toes today. It's going to be rough weather in there. Now let's go ahead and look at what's happening for the Meridian area tomorrow. As we switch to this, all of this could change from a line from Corinth through Tupelo, through Kosciuszko, through Jackson, Mississippi, and then coming out near Macomb is going to be that level 3 area. Nowhere do we have a level 4 at this point, but we could have some tough stuff there. As we go from here, anything east of Tupelo, including Starkville, West Point, east of Kosciuszko, Philadelphia, Meridian, as you get into Rose Hill and these areas around Hattiesburg and Macomb, east of there, will be a level 2 all the way over to York, Demopolis, Utah. These areas here, y'all be careful. Butler, Alabama, you'll be included in this with us, even through Tuscaloosa. Birmingham will come in at a level 1 for tomorrow. So we've got a lot to watch, and it'll be late tomorrow afternoon. I really don't show at this point the weather really getting any signs of roughness until about 9 p.m. tomorrow night. 9 p.m. on, we'll start seeing some heavier rain. Could have some things, and as always with radar and the storms, they can change with the blink of an eye. Wind and speed, all of that plays into when it reaches here. But as of right now, I'm looking at that rain and heavy stuff to move in about 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Again, we'll be here. Should it turn bad, we'll go live to let you know who, what, and when, and where you live and where it is. Does that make sense? That's our plan at this point. Normal temperatures, so to speak, across Mississippi as we look at this. Warm out in California, cooler in Georgia. As we look at today's forecast, 88. Our low tonight around 70. As we move to Saturday, it should be about 88 for a day. 50% chance of showers. And again, the later it gets, the worse it gets. Oh, boy, Sunday rolls in with 80% chance of showers. Preachers don't like to see this because it's low turnout. We all know that. It's just kind of like voting day. When it rains, it's a less turnout at church. That's what we're showing. 10% on Monday, but look at the low there, 60, the high rather, 62, and then we eventually start to climb out of this by Wednesday back to 72. By Thursday, we're at 76, and we move across, and now we're back into the 80s by April the 11th. As we go all the way through the 18th, we don't get out of the 80s. Some of those days getting, like today, real close to 90. 87 we'll see on the 14th. Now, fishing, what happens today? Well, it's going to be windy as we brought this up. South-southeast wind, anywhere from 15 to 20 with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Your major times fishes began at 6 this morning and is good through, this afternoon, 6 p.m. this afternoon through 8 p.m. We do have a pretty good time going on at 5:30 until 7:30 this morning. So right now and then again at 6 p.m. this afternoon. Sunrise happened at 6:38 this morning. Sunset will roll in somewhere around 7:17 this afternoon. Each day it's getting a little bit daylight. I keep hearing lawnmowers and weed eaters after 5 o'clock. Do y'all remember just a few months ago at 5 o'clock it was dreary, dark, and you wanted to go on to bed?
Yeah.
It just has an effect on you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and call that part of the year depressing. It is. I live for that sunshine outside. I love it. Just a good thing. Alrighty, 6:56. We want to thank WMOX for joining us. We're going to be right around. I thought you finally got a SR hat drone. No, I hadn't got that, Bob. It was just the wind. Whew. Bob Seger. What was that big song he is? Against the Wind?
Against the Wind.
Against the Wind. That's what it is today. We'll be right back. Greg's here. Julia's in the bathroom fixing her hair, we think. Isn't that what? Yep, that's what it looks like to me. She's got some teas. She's got, you remember, what do you call those little fork things? Greg's not a pitchfork. We'll be right back as we try to warm the studio up for a big show. It's all coming at the top of the hour. Join us, won't you? It's Fun Friday at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.